So I've been trying to figure out if I have a head gasket leaking of the brand new motor in that car. So I got one of these kits. So I pulled it outside to let it idle. And is it just me, or is my passenger side blowing more steam out than the driver's side? Which I think that, although when you get this way, maybe it's the angle of the sun. Because the shadow, the way the shadow's casting down. But anyways, we're letting this idle. Letting her idle. What we're supposed to do is wait till we come up to running temperature. And then we take this off. Once that's running, we put this on it, pressing this tight into there. I had to drain some fluid out so that it's below the cap, so that I'm pulling just vapor off of the top of that. And then here in a few minutes I'll start squeezing this ball, drawing air through this, and it's reading the vapor air. And if I have any exhaust gases in the engine, this will change color. If that changes color, then I have a head gasket leak or something. For some reason, this motor gets really hot at high speeds. And it doesn't with air conditioning, it does not when it's idling or cool. But even in very, very cold weather, when it gets at high speeds, the engine gets really hot. So trying to check things off. Well, it's already starting to kind of do its own bubbling without drawing that through. That's kind of cool. Let's see what it does. Well, I've been doing the bubbling for about a minute. My engine gauge says I'm at 180 degrees, so I'm at running temperature. It hasn't changed color, so that is a good sign. Then I think my initial concern of the steam coming off the back, now that the sun's we have kind of the same amount of drip coming off of this guy as we do off of that. I think it was just the angle of the sun really made it look like this side was steaming more than that side. So we'll keep running this. I'm going to get the motor very hot here in a minute and start running this. And basically, if that changes color, then we have exhaust gases in the antifreeze. And we don't want that. But if that's not the case, then I still got to figure out how to cool this guy down at high speeds. I can't tell if it's airflow. I'm not getting enough air through this radiator. This is a very expensive radiator for this engine and this application. I might try to see if I can get more airflow at the bottom, but you'd think there's enough airflow going through this. My hood scoops are open, so they do have, you know, air blowing through them, which I don't know if that's causing negative pressure under the hood. I have put tape on them to see if that stops it, but I don't know. Just checking one thing off the list, which I'm very happy that that hasn't changed colors, because if that's changed colors, then that means I got to pull the head, and I am not in the mood to pull the head off of this motor. Mostly being a new to me, low mileage used engine, I'd be very upset if I had a head gasket problem. I think I found the problem of my overheater situation. My gauge currently says it's 220 degrees and my red light's on saying we have a problem. And I mean, I can't even, like, my radiator, it's 20 degrees. 140. Top of that head's 185. Thermostat housing, 185. Fans aren't even on yet. And there's the block. The block is saying 140, 147. I think I've been panicking over an overheat issue that is technically a thermostat issue. It's dropped back down to still above like 210. Well, it's not in focus. Yeah, okay. So my gauge is not calculated right. It's steaming like mad because I filled it up and added a bunch of water to it, and so that's the water heating off the radiator. But my fans don't even come on until my radiator gets to 100 degrees. So I don't have an overheat issue, I have a thermostat issue. Well, that's good news. And as far as that little kit's concerned, this is the kit. It's a cheap little thing. This is its test fluid for combustion leak tests. I actually did while running it. I never did change color, but it did start to pump antifreeze up into it, because as it did start to circulate water, it blew out, so it completely filled with antifreeze. So I do have to drain all that and clean it, but that is a good thing. I'll just let her run, steam off for a little bit, and I want to see how hot that gauge gets when it gets just to running temperature. And my steam thing off the exhaust was totally a shadow effect. I actually put a piece of plywood over on that side and blocked it, but it is funny, as you stand in this angle, that little bit of a shadow makes it look like that has nothing coming out and that one's blowing steam. But when you put the board over it, that one's blowing out just as much as that one is. So that's just steam. Yay! That's one big scare checked off. So don't know if I post this or not. If I did, you saw it.